then I will answer your question, basically. So, what is it that you're trying to manifest in your love life? Let me know what you're trying to manifest. Is there like a specific person? Is there a question you have about how to do it? Things like that. So, have you been actively trying to manifest? Like, tell me what you've been doing. Like, have you had any problems with manifestation? Do you want to just know some general tips about manifestation? Let me know, like, have you been trying to manifest this? Like, because I'm basically going to answer questions about how to manifest. So, if you let me know a question, like how to attract in someone with good energy or something like that, I can answer that for you. Okay, so basically, if you're not having anyone specific in mind and you're trying to manifest and you're not quite sure how to manifest, I mean, this channel is now kind of dedicated to me helping people, especially people who get really trapped in like watching a lot of tarot readings on YouTube and things like that. I am a psychic and it is a real thing, but I think it's very empowering if people can understand how to manifest rather than just ask questions about when something's going to happen, because you have the ability to shape your reality. So, the first thing you need to understand is that you're really good at manifesting, and that everything you've ever manifested in your life, or anything that's ever happened in your life, you've basically been manifesting it through your thoughts, which inform your actions and your feelings. Everything is a mirror in your life to you. So if you're wanting to manifest love, you almost have to embody the state of someone who already is in a loving relationship. So that would be like, how would you feel in your body if you were in a loving relationship? How would your day be if you had a partner? Almost imagine speaking to someone in your head that is your partner and you're like, oh, so today I was doing this and that. Imagine having conversations with your friends where you're saying, I'm in the most loving relationship. I got home and they poured me a bath. Whatever it is that you would like your ideal relationship to be, you almost have to speak it into being inside your head. Now, this is not actually speaking to people who like your friends about it, because that they will think you're crazy. It's very important that you don't discuss your manifestation with anyone while you're manifesting it unless they understand manifestation. But in your head, you're thinking of what it is that you want as if you've already got it. Because what you'll be doing if you're not doing that is you'll be thinking about everything that already exists or everything that you don't want. And we all have these kind of thoughts constantly going on in our head, which are reaffirming our old story. So if you want to change your story, you have to change the thoughts in your head. So you have to sort of think about your mental diet, think about the ideas you're thinking about all the time, and catch the thoughts that are against what you're wanting to manifest. So you need to be constantly thinking, I am in a loving relationship. So you can say affirmations, you can script where you write things out, you can close your eyes just before falling asleep. It's a very powerful time to reprogram your subconscious mind. And you can visualize a romantic scene with your ideal partner and see that while you're falling asleep. Everything like that is going to really help you manifest. But all of those techniques are just ways to get you into the state. And the state is what you need to get into. And the state is to embody someone who is already in a loving relationship. So you already need to feel that you're full of love within yourself. So it's about how you walk down the street. You can just put on your favorite song and just feel like that feeling. It's like make believe. It's like what we used to do as children. You're basically making this stuff real by pretending that it's real, first of all. It's kind of simple, but you also have to stop your limiting mind and your negative thoughts popping up and kind of getting in the way of what you're trying to manifest. So it's a kind of strict mental diet where if you have a thought that's going off in a direction that you don't like no one will ever love me, you're literally pulling it back in line and being like, I am loved. I am in the most amazing relationship. And it's basically that simple. And you have to keep going. And when you start manifesting, things may get worse, first of all, not for everyone, but if they do, it's because you're purging old stuff or your subconscious mind doesn't believe you yet. So you have to keep going, but eventually anything you think in your head, you can have in reality, including a loving relationship. So I hope that's helpful. Okay, so for the next person, hey, Jeannie, let me know if you have a question. Can you hear me as well? Let me know if you can hear me. But yeah, if anyone has a manifestation question, please just ask it. I will keep this live up, maybe if it seems useful for other people. So I'll answer the questions kind of generally so that other people can get something from watching it. But you know, coaching with me is usually expensive, so take advantage of it. Being free, I'm trying to get some spell work done, so like I'm just putting good energy into the universe in return for that. So that's why I'm doing a lot of free stuff at the moment. So it won't usually be like this, but I will occasionally come on and do lives. So just let me know your one question each and I will answer it once I know the question. But you have to let me know the question. And today it's all going to be manifestation related, okay? So any questions you have, please put them in the pop up in the chat box. But you must be subscribed. So I'm glad that was helpful. Yeah, do apply that. That's all you need to do. It's literally as easy as that. It's just thinking your way into what you want. It's literally that simple. It's not about fancy techniques, but they can help. And definitely working with someone one-on-one will really help as well, because that can keep you really focused, because often we can get really disillusioned when we're manifesting, when things don't instantly work out how we would like them to work out. So it's really important to then, have someone to zhuzh you or get your energy back up and be in that energy of knowing that you've got what you wanted. So let's see if there's any other questions. And to the person who asked that last question, if they're still watching, I think another thing that might be very helpful for you to do is to think about the limiting beliefs you have around love and yourself, both of those topics, and maybe write a list of any of those limiting beliefs that come up. And then that can be a very good way for you to work out what kind of affirmations you want to say that will be the opposite of those limiting beliefs, which will help you to manifest. So that's another thing you can do that's really helpful. If there aren't many other questions, maybe I will end the live. But I'll just hang out for a little bit more in case. Because I do see people watching, but maybe they don't have questions. But guys, I can't just talk without any questions. You're welcome. Yes, thank you. I'm so glad there's a question. Okay, how to let go of the past and manifest new love. Well, there's certain things you can do actually to change the past. So if is there a specific experience in your past or like a specific person that you want to release? If there's a specific experience in your past that you feel is holding you back from new love, that's like a very aware thing to realize. So that's really, really good. What you can do is something called revision. And you can do revision either through visualizing, through writing, through affirming. But it's basically like you rewrite what happened in the past. So, say you had a really painful breakup with someone. I've actually done revision for stuff in my past, and it really helped me. So say you've had like a really painful breakup with someone, you could just write it out as if you wish it had been like, we broke up really amicably. They were like an amazing partner for me while we were together, blah, 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 blah. And then you can read this to yourself every day for like a week until you start to kind of see that, like feel like that is maybe like what happened. And then maybe if you still feel like the old story is still painful, carry on doing it. But if at some point you think about that event and the what you've written down as the revision comes more naturally to you, and it's like the thing you think about, you've revised it enough and it will be gone. Otherwise, if it's more like you want to forget about your ex, I mean, you can get back together with your ex if you want to manifest a specific person back, but I'm more about like manifesting what's for your highest good. So I wouldn't personally recommend that, but it does work. You can definitely do it. So you may not need to let go of the past, but if you want to, revision is the way. Or you can do things more, because I'm like a psychic, so I would do things more energetically as well. Like cord cutting is very powerful. You can ask Archangel Michael to come in and cut the cord. You can get a cord cutting meditation from me. You can sage your house. You can clearing out any of their old items from your house. Okay, now you want to know how to manifest the ex. This is something you can do. You can manifest anything you want, okay? It's not to say that you always should, but you can. And how you manifest your ex is how you manifest anything else. It's like all the same thing. There's only one way to manifest, and it's like all the same thing. And it's basically, look on my channel if you're a new subscriber. I'm giving people all the techniques for how you manifest. But basically, the most important thing is your mental diet and being in the state of the wish fulfilled. So you have to be the person. So at the moment, if you're like depressed about your ex, you're probably maybe on YouTube watching like tarot readings a lot, or you're like watching videos about how to get your ex back, or whatever it is you're doing. And you're very depressed and you're feeling unworthy, and your whole life is consumed by thinking about the person. But if you think about how you were in the beginning of the relationship, you would have been doing your own thing and maybe feeling confident. So you need to embody the person that is with. So if you need to imagine in your head, like close your eyes and imagine that you are in your relationship. Imagine that you're back together with that person. You wouldn't be doing all of those things. In fact, if that person came back into your life right now and was like, well, what have you been up to? What would you say? You'd be like, well, I've been trying to research how to get back together with you. I mean, that's terrible. Like, that's not right. Okay. So you need to have your own life. But it's more than that. It's not just like you need to move on and then they'll come back, which can work. But as well as that, you're going to be doing things that make you feel like you're already back together with the person. So you can have conversations with them in your head that are pleasant, not like arguing conversations. You need to drop all resentment. I would recommend revision and cord cutting, even if you want the person back. But you need to have conversations like, oh, today I did this, imagining it in your head. You can have conversations in your head, not in real life, with your friends, where you're saying, my ex called me and like they told me that they're madly in love with me and they're desperate to get back together with me. And then imagine your friend being like, wow, how did you do that? And you'll be like, well, I'm just really good at manifesting. Do you see what I mean? So you start to impress your subconscious mind with the story that you guys are back together, because whatever your subconscious mind believes is what manifests in reality. So you need to gaslight your subconscious mind into believing you guys are back together. You can do that through affirmations, through subliminals, through scripting. Look on my channel, I'm going to give you all the techniques there, but they're just techniques to get you into the state of the wish fulfilled. And the state of the wish fulfilled is where you're already in the relationship. So you need to start acting like that version of yourself, you know? I wouldn't necessarily even say you want to go back to how you were in the relationship, because the relationship broke up. So you want to go to like a new version of yourself where you're your best version, where you have an amazing self-concept, where you know that you're the only person this person ever wants in the whole world. So you're going to be working on your self-concept. That's the main thing. So it's self-love. So you're going to be doing affirmations for how you're loved, you're desired. You just hammer your subconscious with the idea that you're worthy, and it will eventually be pushed out and manifest in reality, but it will depend how long it takes. It depends on your limiting beliefs. And it's good to maybe work with someone one-on-one to work that out. But there's a lot of information out there. If you look at like manifestation, law of assumption, law of attraction, I work with people doing all sorts of different things, combining them with spell work to do this. But you can't make someone you can't police someone's inner thoughts. So you can give them all the tools, but it's down to them to actually want it enough to keep going, to reprogram their brain, because your brain has thought a certain way the whole time you've been alive. And if you've got a pattern where you feel people will leave you, then that will be what you play, what happens, what gets pushed out. So you need to constantly hammer the new story, however long you've been hammering the old story of being not chosen or something. You have to hammer the new story. It doesn't mean that it takes 28 years if you're 28 years old. It just means you have to, every conscious thought you have about your ex needs to be, they love me and we're in a happy relationship. Okay, so basically that's how you do it. But have a look at some of my videos. You can work with me one-on-one, but it's just your thoughts create. So you need to start thinking about as if you've already got what you want. Okay, so another question. You're welcome. Please like if you appreciate the advice. Thank you. I am the best. I am the best manifestation coach. Okay, what do you do when you're trying to manifest something? Example, a new car, but people keep asking. Yes, this is a really good question about my current car and the situation. How do I keep answering them without sounding crazy? This is what I'm saying to you. You do not tell anyone what you're manifesting unless they understand manifestation. So obviously I'm like a spiritual person, and I have friends who I've kind of got a lot of them into it as well. And with one of my friends who I'm like, listen, let's just try this. Just try it. Just try it. Because she often says, like, really, we used to have these WhatsApp chats where it would be like, we were talking about what was happening in our love lives, and it was like quite negative, and we would be like, wow, we're really manifesting some bad stuff. And well, I realized it. So I was like, listen, I want you to just try this one thing with me for a week where we tell each other in our chat what's happening as if it's what we want. And we both were manifesting really quickly what we wanted, because when you speak to your friends, you manifest really, really fast that way. But please don't do that if your friends don't understand manifesting, because you will sound crazy. And even if you tell them that you're trying to get the person back, they'll give you all sorts of opinions. And often, because everyone is you pushed out, they'll be telling you all your biggest fears about it. So you'll see exactly how you really think about the situation through what your friends say. So if your friends are suddenly like, manifestation's bullshit, or that person would never want you again, or you're never going to get that car, it could be because that's what you think, because they're saying it to you. So that's quite useful because you can use it. But I just wouldn't even, if anyone asks you about your old car or old person or whatever, just say like, oh, I don't want to speak about it, or just say what the situation is, but but in your head, just close it down as quickly as possible, basically. Because it's okay to, like, if someone asks you what's going on with your ex, for example, and you say, we've broken up, I don't want to speak about it. Just you saying it once like that is not going to mean it manifests if in your head you're thinking, actually, we're in a loving relationship, but you're not saying it to them. Because we don't want to make people actually delusional, and we don't want to make people seem crazy to their friends. But this does work, but not everyone will get it. So don't tell them what you're doing. But it won't ruin it either if you do say what's happening, the truth to people, but in your mind you're still affirming. The mind is the sanctuary where you don't need to tell anyone what you're doing. So you just keep it all in your mind, and you can say to them, but just try not to like really indulge in that kind of conversation where it gets like really like, ooh, and then this happened, because often we quite like doing that, and that's where it really can manifest. So hopefully that makes sense, right? So you don't need to like be a crazy person that's ignoring the 3D totally. Like, you have to live in it, and you realize that whatever's showing up in the 3D is reflecting. It's like it doesn't happen immediately in the 3D, but say, for example, you want to manifest a specific person and you're like, should I message them or not? it's fine if you message them as long as you don't care what will happen if they respond to you or not. So you can use it to check how your manifestation is going, but only if it's not going to trigger you. Like I don't get triggered by stuff so much in the 3D. Like it takes a lot, so I don't mind, you know what I mean? It doesn't bother me so much. But if it will bother you, don't do that, and just try to not talk about what you're manifesting as much as is possible without like isolating you and making you seem, do you see what I mean? Hopefully you get it. All right. Will Okay, I'm not doing psychic readings. I'm doing manifestation questions today. But the answer to your question is if you want that to happen, you can manifest it. You just have to assume that that person will hire you, and you have to affirm that that is what's going to happen. And you have to watch the way you're thinking when you're not. So every time you think about this new role and whether or not you're going to be hired, you have to tell yourself the story that you're already in the job. You have to be kind of preparing to be in that role without doing anything that's like totally crazy. It's more like embodying the state. I'm not saying to people to like actually start, I don't know, like buying their wedding dress if they're wanting to get married. I'm just saying, like, imagine that you are going to be having that in that role and start kind of preparing for it. I have a video that I just had put up on my channel recently about when I was manifesting a kitten and how it seemed like I wasn't going to get the kitten. And I also manifested the money to get the kitten, like unexpected sum of money. But I started to prepare my house for this kitten's arrival before I knew that I was going to have the kitten. That's how you have to be, if that makes sense. You're welcome. Much love. Um, so that's how you can make sure that you get your job at the salary you want. You can absolutely do that. You can manifest anything. It's all about the thoughts you have. And basically, you have to just start thinking as the person who has that job. How would you feel if you had that job? Who would you tell if you had that job? Imagine telling them you've got the job. Um, if you don't know about manifestation, don't become discouraged if immediately you don't get this job. Just keep doing it and you'll get a job that is similar, a similar salary at some point. But that is how you would do it. You just carry on affirming as if you've already got it, and then you will get it in one way or another. So I hope that makes sense. Let me know if there's any other questions anyone has about manifestation. Maybe if not, I'll end the stream here. I might be back at some point to do some more free coaching. But that is basically, I think, quite helpful because it's covered revision, how to kind of respond to the 3D without being crazy, and how to pretty much manifest. All manifestation is the same. It doesn't matter what you're manifesting. I just won't go near like manifesting specific people because I think it's not always good. I prefer to go for a more open approach. And the same with the career thing. I would maybe just do it for like whatever is in your highest good, but you can 100% manifest it to be specifically a place and a salary. So if there's no further questions, I'll just leave it a little bit longer. And if not, check out the channel. There'll be some videos there. And I'll be back at some point, not sure when, but possibly at some point soon. All right, guys, if there's no more questions, I'm going to end the stream. Much love and light to you all. Take care.